Hello again. I am live. If you like these live streams, you wanna get notified about them, feel free to subscribe. On this one, I'm gonna go take a look at the pull request that revamps the core module called Survey. And we'll bring this down here. So the survey module, I think, was not previously, yeah, exactly. So it was in the repository totally empty. So the pull request basically that we have here is a total revamp of that. So we don't have any difference of the before after. My only concern with this pull request, I know everything worked very fine, and Michael gave us a good demo of the new features and stuff, and there's even a PowerPoint with which highlights the changes. It's perfect. He even kind of already put a release here. So my only concerns with this is if it matches our community standards, and also I would like to migrate the documentation of the project to GitHub with our team, but it's not priority right now. It's something that would be nice, but it could be done in the future. My main concern is upgrades. So I would like to find the previous version that was working and make sure that an upgrade goes fine. That's my only blocking concern about this module. So I think that's going to be codeplex.com and project equals Dnn Survey. Let's hope. And it isn't. So let's try maybe a Google search. Probably here. There we go. So it's archive.codeplex. Okay. So basically the old projects that were on Codeplex, while Codeplex kind of closed, while they shut down and they kept everything as archives. And basically you no longer have access to the source code and this and that, so you just have a download for the archive. Now this is packed in a funny way, but if you open that zip, let me extract it. It's gonna be maybe easier because we're gonna have to rename some files. So in here you're gonna have folders for discussion, issues, license, all these things, and you're gonna have releases and source code. So this would have been the old source code as the latest one, so it was VB and stuff, but I don't really care about that. We don't really need to keep that history. My main concern is with releases, and now in releases you have numbered folders with all kinds of stuff, and you have a JSON file. So the JSON file is where you're gonna find which folder is what. So, and it's not always ordered correctly. So we have 470.01, and that is the install file. So 470.01, that's all older. For 70.00, you see how the order, and we have a 5, and the 5 only has a manual, it doesn't have a release. So I guess we're gonna go with the top one here, so 470.01. So that will be in folder 0, and the file that is named, that the name ends by D284, should be renamed to this. I'm going to copy that and D284 in folder 0. D284. I can rename that, and that should be my install package for that module. So, I'm gonna go check the manifest here. And that requires it doesn't even say which DNN version it requires. Yep. So we're gonna try it on DNN 8. We're gonna check that it works, that upgrading the module works, and then we'll move on to try and upgrade to DNN 9 and confirm it works there too. If it doesn't, we'll put another pull request for that. But I want to put this one on GitHub so people have easy access to the previous release. So I'm gonna go here, Dnn Survey, releases, and I'm gonna create a release. And yeah, I'm gonna tag master with version 47001. 47001. This is the latest release that was available on CodeFlex before the move to GitHub. And I'm gonna drop the installer here. Just so people have access to that. So now we're gonna go. We already have from the previous live stream. I created a website called vendors.localtest.me because I was working on the vendors module. We can reuse this one. So forget about vendors in the URL. I'm gonna create a page. I'm gonna call the page survey, and I'll make it visible to all users. I'm gonna delete the HTML module here. Okay, host, extensions, install extension. I'm gonna put this old one here. So it requires DNN 562. So I guess that was quite a lot of work to revamp on Michael's side. Yep, so it's been converted to C#, and I'm guessing we removed the deprecated APIs and stuff. So yeah, a lot of work. I've been through it. So modules, add new module, survey. I'm gonna put this here. Now, what do we have in the settings? That's also a module I did not use much, so I'm not super familiar, but survey closing date, maximum bar graph width, vote tracking, via cookie, what vote per registered user, make the result public, that's a template, and we can export and clear the data. Okay, so in the settings I don't think we have much to do here. Let's add a couple questions. In which city are you located? That's going to be a single selection, and I guess it's one option per line. No, it's one option here, so let's call it Montreal, which is where I am. And if you mark answers as correct, is more like a quiz than a survey. That option. Let's do Toronto. And let's do Quebec. There we go. Update. Here's our survey. I can close edit mode. I can fill Montreal and submit. There we go. And now if I refresh the page, that's it. So you can fill it only once because of the cookie. Now if I go look at the cookies, application, cookies, I guess it's this. Let's delete it, go back to survey, and I can fill it again. So let's do one for Toronto. Wow, that graph is bad, but yeah. Why is it that way? And let's clear the cookie again, refresh, and delete, go back here. Let's fill one for Quebec. So it's twice for Toronto for some reason. So yeah, so it's a bar graph that's more like in a strange way, but yeah, it works. It's gonna be much nicer though. We have a row table data here. Yeah. So it ain't pretty by any means, but it works. So my main concern is that it doesn't fail miserably upgrading. I'm gonna go add another question. Like, I don't know, what food do you like? And I'm gonna make this multiple and say pizza and hamburgers. No, very healthy stuff. Let's go with salad and obviously bacon, because yeah, who doesn't? Okay, and now let me go clear that cookie again, go back to the page, and I'm gonna do Montreal, and I like bacon and pizza, let's say. There we go. Let's clear that cookie again, go back here, and in Toronto they like hamburgers and salad. Actually, they like sandwiches, but I didn't put it. There we go. What happens if I do view survey? Can I submit again? Ah, maybe. Let's do another one, Montreal, and pizza and hamburgers, let's say. Okay, so we have some kind of sample size here. Now, can't say it's pretty. It's pretty strange, actually, but yeah. That's what we have now. So, Michael was kind enough to provide us with a pre-built package, but I want to make sure that it actually builds on standard environments without issues. So I'm going to go clone this. I'm going to first start by copying the URL. I should start this as an admin though. Close it. Actually, I need to fork it first. So I'm gonna fork that to my account. I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna clone. Oh, I took it from my clipboard. That's cool. I'm gonna go put this in my D drive. Websites. I called it vendors, but it's not vendors, but I called it vendors. I'm gonna clone it here. And I'm gonna take a look at so we have survey and we have Dnn survey, kind of how it was built on the other modules too. I don't really care about this. Okay, so I don't see that we have any solution here. Oh yeah, because I didn't get that for that not fork but branch. So what we need to do is go back here and we need to pull that pull request branch. So we have little instructions here and we need to create a branch that name. Okay, I'm gonna go to my trusty git bash here. In which directory am I? I'm in something else. So CD websites, the one I call vendors, and desktop modules, and the Dnn survey. So I only have license and readme. That's it. That's all. So I need to do git checkout branch. And then git pull. Okay, back to Visual Studio. I should be in that branch. There's 42 commits. So now, if I go back here, we have a solution. Perfect. I'm gonna open the solution. So one or more projects were not loaded correctly. Let's go see. The web application project Dnn Survey is configured to use IIS. The web server 9.local could not be found. So this is something that will prevent people from opening the project because it's set to use local IIS on a specific domain. So that's not something we want. And I seem to have a problem submitting new commits to an existing branch. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to log this issue. I'm going to grab a screenshot here of this. gonna create an issue. I'm gonna just simply merge this because we don't have any existing code anyway. So I'm just gonna go to issues, new issue, to bug report. Also, we had something about 5 or something, so I'm gonna make a milestone for, and I don't know if anybody else did releases, so I'm gonna call it like he did, 900. So yeah, let me go back to issues, milestone, create milestone. I'm gonna call it 90000. Initial C# rewrite, new features, and Dnn 9 compatibility. There we go. So we have the default branches development, and I'm simply gonna, I'm gonna add my issue because I copied. So it's not version specific to reproduce clone repository. Try to open solution. Here's my screenshot. Error log, bah. The screenshot says it all, no additional context. I'm going to assign myself to that, and I'm gonna call this DevOps. And I need to fix it for this release. Commit new issue. Perfect. So I'm gonna just take this pull request, command this, and I'm gonna merge this. Now, if I go back here, I should be able to switch back to development or develop. And let's see, because I rebooted. Last time I had problems fetching from upstream and basically updating to the latest changes. So let's try that again today and add http upstream https github.com/dnn community/dnn survey. and it should require the .get, but it didn't have it here. So let's see what it thinks about this. If I go back to sync and fetch from upstream, what do we get? Yep, there's still an issue. Oh, let's go to bash. Nothing to commit. So git fetch upstream. Strange. So git pull upstream develop. Git pull upstream develop. I had a typo in upstream. There we go. I don't know why it doesn't work here. Well, it doesn't work anywhere. Usually doing fetch, you should see everything that changed since the last time you fetched. And it should be pushing now. Push. Okay. And now from this clean slate that we now have code here, right? Perfect. So from this clean slate, oh, I would like if we can have this working on Dnn 8 and up. That would be nice. Well, let's go back to the issue here, which is issue 21. Um, hmm. There we go. Okay, so let's go change that. Edit this and do this here. Web project use IIS will be false, I think. You know what? Let me compare with one that works. Let's go to this one, and it's the project file or the solution file? It's the project file. So we don't have any web project properties on this. I think we could get rid of the whole web project properties here. Or maybe even the flavor properties. And this, I think. There we go. So now we have something that loads. So this, for this issue, that was the problem, right? So let me just check properties here. That should be fine. I'm gonna do this because that's a module that's part of the thing. So I'm gonna untick that. Okay, I think that's fine. So if I look at the scope of change here, yeah, that's pretty much it. Didn't change anything else. Okay, let's commit this. And I'm going to push that to my issue 21 branch. And that should give us a pull request. Awesome. We create pull request. Removes local IIS configuration. Nothing much here except it closes issue 21. And that's why I like to name my branches with the issue number because it's easier to find. So we basically switch to use IIS Express. Yeah, that's an update to, I don't know why in that language, but are we targeting develop? Yeah. I don't know what changed here, but anyway, that should. Yeah, so save server settings and user file. That's cool to be true because if the user, the individual committee trying to work on this, decides to change that, it's going to be saved only for him. It's not going to get committed because that user file should be ignored. So that's merged, perfect, and now let's try to build it. So in theory, again, should go back to develop. That's fine. And I should be able to fetch from upstream. And it doesn't work. So strange. I don't know why that stopped working. Oh, get fetch upstream, get pull upstream develop, and get push. Cool. So now can we build? Reload project. Let's try to build in debug mode. And we cannot build. And I have some stuff in strange language. So we have an issue on line 2555. Let's unload project and edit. There is no line 255. 225. 225. So yeah, this being non-English is not very useful for most of us. If I am, I'm not even sure if we do need this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna reload this, and I'm gonna look at the references here. Yeah, the references are not resolved correctly. So I'm probably gonna remove all the references here and delete that part in the project file and reload the dependencies from NuGet with the DNN 8 dependencies. So I'm gonna take a little piece of paper and I need a reference to .NET Nuke. Why system web and all these things also don't work? Well, that is odd. Yeah, something is odd here. But basically we need .NET Nuke, .NET Nuke .web. We need .web .client. We need system. We need system.data. .web .extensions. And system.xml. Maybe if we don't need all that, we just don't import all that. Now I want to check here. If I right click and go properties, no, sorry, not that. If I right click, because I'm surprised that in the project file there's something about NuGet and that we don't have NuGet packages. But yeah, there's nothing installed. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna take these dependencies. Actually, I'm gonna create a branch for that. So I'm gonna take a little screenshot here. Let's create another issue, new issue. Everyone has them downloaded as needed, and that it works in CI environment too. Clone the repository, open project, try to build and notice errors with the screenshot, and that's pretty much it. The template is there to help people to publish, good issues that are clear, but if you know what you're doing, you can skip this a little bit, considering that I'm just putting this for documentation, and I'm gonna be the one taking care. So I understand my issue. It's not a problem. But the main thing I want is the issue ID. So it's gonna be issue 23. So I'm gonna do a new branch, issue 23. Perfect. So now I'm gonna go in my solution, gonna take out all these dependencies or references, and I'm going to add, I'm gonna browse. Now, sometimes I get the .NET Nuke bundle, and sometimes I get them individually. When I don't know what I'm gonna need, I usually take the bundle, but, well, actually, it's, yeah, .NET Nuke bundle, and we'll remove stuff we don't need. So I'm not gonna grab 931. I'm gonna grab like, oh no, I'm not gonna take the bundle because the bundle started with Dnn 9. So I'm gonna take .NET Nuke Core, and the naming for the NuGet packages is gonna get improved. There's a pull request for it, so I'm gonna get the oldest Dnn 8 that I could find here. And that's gonna give my .NET Nuke and Microsoft application block stuff. Now, right away before building, you want to go here, properties, copy local false, and specific version false. That's very important. But it still does not resolve. So what is going on? Resolved false. That should be in packages. What? I'm gonna take out this line in the project file. Unload project. And edit. And that was on line like 225, I think. Yeah, it's no longer in line 225. I'm this. Gonna delete that. We still should have a line somewhere for NuGet. I'll look at this after, but we should have something that ensures we have our NuGet packages. Reload project. And now if I go back to references, okay, now they work. So we have our .NET Nuke, now we need .NET Nuke Web. Not add reference, I want to go manage NuGet packages. .NET Nuke Web, the oldest 8 I can find. Perfect. .NET Nuke Web Client, the oldest 8 I can find. And the rest I think should be local. So let's add a reference on the framework system. We needed system.data framework system data. we needed system web extensions and system XML. And now I'm gonna grab all of this, go to properties, make sure that copy local is false on all of these, and that the specific version is false. That's it. If I don't do that, then as soon as you build, it's gonna copy this to your whatever output folder. Now we're gonna have a few issues here. Checkbox list validator. So we're probably missing a reference. .NET Nuke, .NET Nuke Web, .NET Nuke Web Client. List item. List item should be pretty standard. What? Maybe I need system web. Let's see where list item lives. List item system web UI, system web UI web controls. So system web and system web UI, we don't have that. So let's add a reference to system web, I think. Framework system dot web, maybe system dot web dot UI. I don't know. Let's see. This makes these work. Let's try another build. And I forgot to make it so it doesn't copy local. Let's hope I didn't already miss. Okay, that defaults to false. Okay, that's cool. So we have iModule controller, get modules by desktop module and the Texas with extension method, get modules by desktop module ID, purchase controller, not be finally missing so we have, okay, so that's probably something that was introduced after DNN 8. So I would like to make this module DNN 8 compatible. Because we don't have much. Oh yeah, that cannot work. Yeah, it can work. Okay, so that's basically the upgrade of the module. If we are on DNN 9, we're bumping some stuff. Yeah, that makes sense, but it's gonna work only on DNN 9. So let's try to find something comparable. So we have an array list of modules by desktop module ID. Okay, what do we have comparable? Module controller dot instance. So already instance did not exist yet, so we need a new module controller. Okay, let's do are those spaces? Oh, that's something else I don't really like, but we'll live with it. So let's do var mc equals new module controller, I guess. Yeah, now the formatting is all wrong. Okay, get modules by get modules by desktop module ID. What if I do get modules? We have portal ID. No. What I find funny here is that dot instance actually exists. Hold on. Module controller dot instance. Yeah, extends actually exists. Hmm. Portal ID and definition name. Yeah, we could. No, because we don't have the portal. We don't have the portal ID here. The upgradable. So we basically need to have all the modules. We have the friendly name. Get all tabs modules by module ID. Get modules with the portal ID by definition. By module ID. No, so I don't like this. What if we go with desktop module controller? Do we have an instance on that? No. And we do get and what if we go mc.get modules? Get modules by definition, but it still takes the portal ID. We don't want that. We want all the modules. Yeah, and this still takes the portal ID. Well, I'm guessing we have to get all the modules and then filter them. This is not something that runs very often, it's just during the upgrade. I guess we could do that. Remove this. No, I need to keep this. Now that's an array list. And I cannot do a where here because it's an array list. So I could loop through them all. So M is an object until it's converted to a module info. And then we can wrap this into an if statement. If module dot friendly name equals survey, then we're gonna do all of that. Oh wow, that brings us far. Okay, hold on a second. Put the mouse here and see where that indentation stops. It stops here, so we need to go there. And now I'm going to select all and auto format this selection. So that should make it work with module.friendly name. What's the problem here? Desktop module.friendly name. Module.friendly name. Save. Okay, let's try to build again. One warning. Perfect, that's better. Okay, different assembly versions for Newtons of JSON. And yeah, we can live with it. Something here depends on a different Newtons of JSON than the site now. Or we have a web config. Okay, it's not a big deal. I would love it to be zero warning, but we have so much other stuff to do that we'll see. So that fixes our initial problem of dependencies. So that closes issue 23, and that's it. So that replaces these with these and takes out this, which is in a language that not everybody understands, and We use NuGet packages here. Perfect. That's gonna be DevOps inside of this milestone. Boom. And that should close the when I merge it. Perfect, perfect. So that's good. Now let's try to build it in release mode and see what happens. Do we even have any build scripts or stuff here? Doesn't look like it. It pretty much just builds here. So that still needs a little work. So I'm gonna stop the stream here. Next step on this module will be creating build scripts and then start testing an upgrade scenario. And then we'll look at the other pending issues. See you next time. So apparently I forgot to stop the live stream. But here we are back, working on the survey module. I don't know how much time I'm gonna be on because I'm waiting for 2 persons to get back to me. So let's see how quick we can make a build script. Last time we spent a lot of time learning about cake and stuff. Now that we have a working example, that should be pretty quick. So let's check if we have everything clean here. We merged the last pull request, that's good. Let's go back to our Git status. We are on develop branch, Git fetch upstream. There we go, now fetch works. Git pull, upstream, develop, Git push. I'm gonna create an issue. Remove this one out of the way and grab that one. There's no issues with build, so let's create a new one. That's pretty much the issue. I'm gonna be working on that. It's a DevOps issue, and let's put it in this milestone. Submit. That will be issue 25. New branch, issue 25. Good. So now we have a reference which we spent a lot of time yesterday making build scripts for the vendors module, and we can now reuse that to our advantage. So in the project file, well, no, before that, we need a build scripts folder, and let's try to be consistent and call this module.targets. And the solution, I'm going to create a new folder, build scripts, and in that folder a new text file. Well, new item. And we're gonna call it module.targets. I'm pretty much gonna copy and paste the build scripts we had for the vendors module, and I'll just adapt it. Now if I save it and reopen it, we should have syntax highlighting. Perfect. So we have a target named package module. That's for our cake script, and that will stay exactly as it is. And with the cake tools, we should have somewhere in the menu a place to add our cake stuff. And I don't know in which menu that comes. Cake build. Install PowerShell Bootstrapper. I'm gonna go on the project root. So it was in build, cake build, install PowerShell Bootstrapper. There we go. And we're gonna go build, cake build, install cake config. There we go. Perfect. So we'll get to this after debug. Now for the debug, copy module, we want to copy deployment files. That's everything that's gonna go into the desktop modules folder. And we want the CSS, which is in the CSS folder. Do we have CSS on the root? Yes. So we want CSS that's in any folders in CSS. Yeah, okay. That's gonna be what's on the root. Because of the copy task, how it works, let's account only for what's on the root, which is basically just ASCX files and CSS. So we don't need the ASPX on the root. App local resource is going to be exactly the same thing, and we need another item group for CSS files. Oops. That will include let me call this deployment CSS files, and we're gonna include what's in any folder CSS star.css. Now we need to change the destination folder for survey. Now, do we need to go back by the same amount? We're gonna be here, so we need to go back. It's related to the project file, so we need to go back 1, 2, and then into survey. So we're gonna take out this and this, name this survey, resources. Perfect. We're going to copy this line and change the source file for deployment. CSS files will go into survey, CSS, save. That's pretty much it for our MS build scripts. Now I need to edit the project. I need to unload the project and edit the project, and somewhere near the end here we'll need to import project build scripts /module .targets, and then we will uncomment. Oops, no, let's leave this commented. Let's stop the comment here, and after build depends on targets, package module. If memory serves good, let's save and we'll know it right away. That looks cool. Now if I go in desktop modules, survey, and I delete this and this, now if I build in debug mode, we should build succeeded. So looking at this, it didn't get there. Target name is package module. This is when we're in release, this is when we're in debug. So this did not fire. Let's try a rebuild maybe. Let's try to close and reopen it. So for some reason we are not entering this MS build script. Import project build scripts, and I'm just basically comparing with the vendor's module. Import project build scripts module.targets. Target name after build depends on target package module. Let's add here a message text equals testing 1, 2, 3, importance high. Reload. Interesting. Yeah, testing 1, 2, 3 is here. Okay, this shows up after that. So we reach after build. Do I have any typo? Build scripts module targets. Oh, I know why. Okay. It's true, we have 2 targets. Okay, now let's unload the project, edit this, and let's take out this. We know we get in here, so it's package module that's in release mode, and it has a condition for release mode. The other target is copy module. So now, if we save, copy module should run on debug mode. Reload the project and build. Okay, now we have something, and if I check in the folder, what do we have? We have our module CSS, we have our settings CSS, we have our ASCX files. If I go to app local resources, they are there. We have our CSS folder. Great. Do we need to take care of the images? Yeah, might as well, since we're here. Let's go here, and the images are PNG images. Yeah, we probably need this, so let's add another item group, and in here deployment images include, and here we could include images, anything. I don't know if it's just a star or star dot star. We'll see that soon enough. That will go in the images folder, and it's deployment images. Save, build. So I previously had 2 images, I should have 4 or 5. Perfect. Excellent. So the debug script works, and now if I go to the site, I should pretty much see, except we didn't run the upgrade scripts if there's any. So yeah, I'm not gonna try this right away. Just want to see, is there any SQL script changes? Yes. Okay. So I also want to make sure in the manifest version 9 core version, I'm gonna change this to 8.0.0 or it will not install. We need a package called chart.js. Oh, that may not exist in Dnn 8. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, I don't like this too much, but let's go take a look. What ships? If I go to resources, libraries, no, shared. What was the name of this? Chart.js. I go on host extensions, do you have anything like chart.js? I also want to take a look if I go on the Dnn software repository and search for chart.js, might know. Hmm. Let's do a search for chart.js. Yeah, so that depends on a package that we're really not sure to have. Yeah, that's a thing. That depends on something that does not exist here. Okay, so that part I don't like too much. The fact that we're depending on chart.js, but I don't see anywhere where that would be installed. Also, these things here. Oh, that's part of the cleanup. Okay, well, we could leave that there. Yeah, that loads file by file. Yeah, we're gonna improve this. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this will be a problem, but um, I'm gonna have to ask Michael what's the situation with that. Maybe put it in the pull request. Yeah, DNN extension library for Chart.js before. Uh, what we could do is to put this inside of the module and load it locally. Okay, I'm gonna put another issue for that. Yeah, I kind of consider this a bug because the module should be, self-contained. So if someone installs the module, it's probably gonna break. Okay, back to business of finishing our build scripts. We need to create our cake. That's a cake config. That's not what I want. I want a cake script. Build. Okay, I'll just create a cake file. Now this was better in maybe because I didn't have the cake config. Maybe. Let's try to add text file build.cake. So whoops, build.cake, and what happened? I don't know. And we have our sample from the vendors module. If I can find it. Vendors. Build.cake. There we go. Okay, so let's copy the one we had, save, so that stays the same, We're creating install package bin, install package providers, data providers skills. Is that the same? We have providers, data providers, SQL data provider. So that's going to be the same. And then we grab from the manifest, so the manifest name will be Dnn Survey. .dnn, and we're gonna get in .NET Nuke packages. The first package we find, we grab the version. .NET Nuke packages, first package version. Perfect. So that's good. And then we need to grab all the resource files. So we grab the ASCX, ASPX, we don't have any. We grab the app local resources, we grab CSS, text, yeah, text. I'm gonna add license and release notes. So I'm gonna leave this in. We get images, everything. This I think I can do / this. So we have CSS in the root and CSS in the subfolder. Images, we have them only there. Okay, I think this is good. SQL scripts, we get providers, data providers, SQL data provider. SQL data provider files, perfect. Now the binaries, we need to go back one less. So let's do this and this and this. Now the bin file, yeah, we also need to go here in properties and build. So in debug mode, we want to go back by tree, I think. This is old. So desktop modules, survey, no, DNN survey, DNN survey. So the project is here. We need to go back 1, 2, 3, and then into the bin folder. Perfect. So the location is good. In debug mode, we have level 4 full debug, and in release mode, we optimize the code. Debugs 4. We build it here, and we want PDB only. So that's good. Now back to our folder. If I go into the bin folder here, whatever, this is gonna be the name of the assembly. Survey. Perfect. Install package. Now DNN modules. Survey. Version and install package. Release package. Save. Let's give this a try. So I'm building in. Can I clear this? There we go. Building in release mode. Got one warning, which is the duplicate stuff here, and build PS1 That didn't work. Now let's take a look at our folder here. The project is here, and yeah, I'm gonna take the build PS1, the cake config, I'm gonna move them here. Now back here, I'm gonna remove, and in here I'm gonna add existing, or maybe I can just show all files. This and this, include in project. Oh, that's cool. So I can do execute file. Oh, okay. Okay, it's good to know. Let's try again in release mode. And we have 2 warnings, but overall it doesn't seem too bad. So if I go into here and install, we do have a package. We have our DLL, we have our SQL scripts here, including the most recent one. We have manifest, we have our resource files, we have our symbols. Perfect. Now, what I want to do is delete that, and I want to simplify the manifest, well, actually adjust the manifest for the fact that we are not pushing files one by one, but we will be what's the name of the node? It's component type equals file. Yeah, I think it's here. So here we're going file by file, and we are going to replace this with our resource files. So because we don't have code completion here, I'm gonna just double check on the manifest for vendors for the syntax component type equals files. Okay, so in here we're gonna have files, and then we're gonna have base path, which will be desktop modules backslash survey, and then we'll have file no, that's not it. Component type resource file. Okay. Component type resource files, and yeah, no, everything here is bad. Okay, component type is resource file. Okay, then we have resource files. And inside of resource files, we will have a base path, which is desktop modules slash survey. And then the resource file for that is named resources.zip. And then we have another component type resource file, and in here we can have resource files, and in resource files we can have base path bin, and then we have resource file name symbols.zip. Okay, so this node's gonna put everything that goes in the desktop modules, and this node's gonna put our symbols into the bin folder. Okay, let's save this and rebuild, and we will give it a first test in the extension verification service. So I'm gonna take this package, drop it here, and upload. While that runs, I'm gonna try the same in my DNN install here. And my yeah. Critical error has occurred. Where's the site log here? Site settings, event viewer. Event viewer, site log, admin log, keeps changing. The system cannot find the path specified. Well, it doesn't really give us any clue about which file, but let's go take a look on the site portals default logs and see if we have more details. Well, that is not of much help. Okay, what does the EVS think about it? It thinks there's a couple issues. So 310, okay, we have SQL scripts. that doesn't really help. So, yeah, so a SQL script here. String literals as column aliases is not supported in this version. Let's copy this error. Deprecated feature. Okay, documentation license HTML specified in the manifest is missing from the extension. So we're gonna change that to use release notes and license. That's probably the error we got. So the license and release notes, we're gonna make them text files on the root of the project. If I go to documentation, yeah, we have this here. So basically, we are currently not packaging that documentation folder. So we kind of have two options here. I don't like this that we require SQL Server 2016. We should match the DNN requirements. Okay, so let's package this and let's change the, well, actually we don't, oh, wait a second, this should not be packaged, but we need it on the root of our zip. Okay, let's adjust our cake build script. So basically we need to do the same thing as for, so it's not resource files, because resource files we zip it in the resources. We need, okay, SQL scripts, binaries, symbols, release notes. So basically we need, well, we need to create a documentation folder in our cleanup step here. It's going to be an install package, and it's going to be in documentation. So that will ensure this folder exists and is empty. And where we were previously capturing text files, now we're going to be capturing documentation, any file with HTML, and it's going to go in install package documentation. Let's try that. Now, the SQL script that was our main problem, the first one was 310. I'm gonna get the new package. Where's Dnn vendors? Source is here. Install. Okay, I'm gonna feed that again to the extension validation service on my other screen, and I'm gonna feed it to our host extensions, install extension. Okay, the package is already installed. What? Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. It's not vendors, it's survey. Okay, so here's one for EVS. Install extension. And here's yours. And sure enough, a dependent package is not installed, chart.js. So I want to fix that in a different way. So I had the link for it. Do I still have that open? No. In Michael's pull request, okay, so I downloaded it twice, but basically this changes HTML. We don't really care about it. We have chart.js min. What do we have in resources? Oh, JavaScript library name chart min.js. So basically that registers this registers the library as something reusable, and then we have a JavaScript file, and then we have the resource file. So what I'm kind of thinking is to put this inside of the module, because that's not going to be part of DNN anymore, these things. So by these things I mean that particular JavaScript part here is optional. It's not part of the core. So what I'm gonna do is take the content of this, yeah, I don't think we need the docs. Well, I think we need only that. 158 here. The bundle, I'm guessing it's because it comes with jQuery too. Now jQuery is still part of DNN, so I'm gonna take just that and I'm gonna bring it new folder JS. I'm gonna put this here. In the solution, I'm gonna show all files, yeah. Refresh. Okay, so this here include in project. Okay, now I want to search for chart everywhere. Uh, entire solution and find all. Chart. Okay, let's try chart.js then. So I'm gonna remove that dependence. I shouldn't be doing this mixed with this pull request here. But since I need this for the build scripts to I don't like it, but I'm gonna fix both in the same pull request. So now we have this, we have it included here. Okay, so now I wanna search for chart.js. Wow. So I'm not sure what loads it. I would be guessing it's somewhere in the view. And the results. There we go. So JavaScript request registration chart.js. What we're gonna do, we're gonna replace that by JavaScript dot request registration. But instead of passing JS name, register? No. Or is it client resource manager? Hold on, I have a brain fart here. Let's go see the brand new DNN docs. DNNdocs.com. Okay, I thought it was .org. Register. Developers. Yeah, the documentation still needs a lot of stuff. .NET Nuke register JavaScript. It's actually the there we go, the client resource manager. This is old like crazy. Okay, I'm just gonna go do off screen. I'm gonna go check on project that I did, but that one is not open source. There we go. Should be here. So register script. Okay. .NET Nuke client. No. Maybe I'm missing the reference for it. .NET Nuke web client. Client resource management register. What the? Register script. It's here. And this uses .NET Nuke web client resource management register script. So why? What? Client resource manager. There we go. Okay. So now we have the page and the file path. We have the page and the file path and the order. And we also have provider. Okay, that's the overload I want. So I want it on this page, and the file path I think is relative to the module, or maybe not. Desktop modules, survey, JS, and chart.min.js. Priority is that should autocomplete. Let's use .NET Nuke web client here. Client resource manager. Maybe I don't need this. Client resource manager. Come on. Okay, so we wanted it on the but let's put a default for everything, whatever. And the provider now is client resource manager provider, because we want it at the end of the page. .NET Nuke web client dot providers and DNN form button provider. Default name. Okay, that was an interesting line, but that basically replaces this. And I am gonna take this whole file and correctly format it and save. Okay, now is it used somewhere else? So I'm gonna be searching for in the entire solution. Let me go back to this and see how it was being put here on the page. Register what? So I'm going to be searching for request registration on the entire solution. Okay, I think we're fine. So let's, do you have other stuff to change here? The manifest. The manifest, I want to remove that dependency on, I already did it. Okay, build. Now let's give, I can close this and let's go here. Close that. Okay, so that's better. Error creating component installer. Okay, let's go take a look if we have more details in the event viewer. Not really. And let's go take a look at the portals default logs. Not sure if that's old or new. Let me close some stuff. Let's delete these two. I'm gonna leave this open and I'm gonna put another one. I'm gonna go to websites, desktop modules, survey, here, install. Okay, let's try this again. Host extensions. Install extension. Error reading the zip package. So it looks like it fails right after resources.zip. And if I go here, we have resources.zip, which looks fine, and symbols.zip, which looks fine too. We don't have the JS. I'm not sure if that's a problem or not, but we're missing that JavaScript file. It shouldn't be a problem though, but okay, let's see what the extension verification service thinks about this first, and then we'll take a look while that thinks it over. Clean up. So EVS was pretty quick now for errors. SQL, 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 SQL. Okay, so that doesn't look like our issue. Something's odd with the alignment. Component type, okay, that's not a problem. So we have component type resource file, which is closed here. We have resource files, which is the same here. Then we have resource file name. We have base resource files. Inside of resource files, we have the base path, we have the resource file, and the name. Maybe resource file needs to be lowercase. How was that with the vendors module? Hey, Mighty Mart. So the manifest should be something.dnn, dnn vendors, and it was files. So component type resource file. So this needs to be uppercase. Then we have resource files, base path, and then resource file, name, and this. Okay, the only differences I see was that capital letter F and that this was on a single line here and not there. Let's try that, build it. Now this is created 11:48, which is right now. Perfect. Let's give it another try. Here, install extension. That looks better. Error loading files from temporary folder. Okay, now we have an SQL error. Okay, that's kind of the next issue. Perfect. So that's solved, and we now need to go check what's wrong with the report from the extension verification service. So we have errors in 310. Let's go see how that looks. That's going to be in providers, data providers, SQL data provider, and it's 310. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to close all the others because we're starting to have a lot of documents open. Now, what seems to be the problem? What we're gonna do, we're gonna take all of this script, copy it into SQL Server here. Which takes a little bit of time to open. So Mighty Mart on the chat is a friend of mine. He also has a YouTube channel, not DNN related, which he might paste in the chat or something. So what I usually do, I just create a new database. I call it test or whatever. Just want to make sure we don't mess up the one we have. And on that one, I'm gonna do a new query. Paste the script. Now, what's important with DNN is that this part here, database owner and object qualifier, DNN replaces them. So right now here it's not gonna work. So we need to select database owner here and replace it with DBO. DBO dot. Yeah, I think DBO dot. Yes, and then the object qualifier. We need to do the same thing, but replace it with nothing. And now, not execute, but parse. And it's gonna give us that everything is fine. Well, that's not great. So let's go see our friend Google and take the error message we got from EVS and see what we find. Yeah, that created by user part. Change the literal column renaming to use the as syntax. So basically we should have single quoted. Oh. Maybe where we have the red squiggly line? Oh yeah, that makes sense. That could be it. So let's grab as created by user, and we're gonna take out this part. And here we're gonna do the same thing. That's votes, like this. Okay, before messing with the SQL scripts, I'm gonna commit this, and after that I'm gonna do another one. Now I have more than 99 files that changed. That's not very nice. Okay, so build scripts, we do want to commit that, and the file is new. Install, we want to ignore this folder because we don't want to commit that. The JS, we take it. Now the tools folder here, we also want to ignore this. Build cake, we need it. Build PS1, we need it. Cake config, we need it. That's the project, the manifest, and the change we did to load that JS file, and that's it. So I'm gonna commit that part here. Fixed build scripts, and I'm gonna commit this. Cool. Now separately, and I should actually log a separate issue for this. Okay, I'm gonna commit this and submit a pull request and everything, and separately I'm gonna fix the SQL. So let's go to here, and we're gonna check out the issues here. Did I push it? I'm on the wrong repository again. So on the survey repository, perfect. So this will close issue 25 and 26. Yeah, so let's go here, 25 and 26. Not gonna bother writing too much stuff, it's getting late. This was supposed to be something quick. Okay, next step, we're gonna add another issue about the SQL scripts. deprecated syntax. No longer supported in modern SQL servers. Basically, that's the issue. And I'm gonna take. Did I close EVS? I closed EVS. No, it's here. So I'm gonna take a screenshot of like this. Oh, you know what? Let's try to grab both versions because we have 3.10. Yeah, let's try to capture 3 versions here. Okay, another screenshot with these 3. There we go. Paste it here, and this will be a bug because that affects users. I'm gonna sign myself, and it's for this milestone. Now, one thing I should do before going too crazy with that is check the existing issues. If there's anything that makes sense, that sometimes people put code in the issue because they don't know how to submit pull requests. So we might have solutions for some of the troubles we have. But no, we have nothing that relates to this. Okay, now I'm gonna take a quick pause here and go grab a cup of coffee, and then we'll try those scripts here. So I'll be right back. Tu veux-tu du café, quelque chose? So let's get back to it, but I'm gonna do a small unrelated stuff here. My friend Martin, who's watching the feed, asked me how I put my face on the corner and the screen on the rest. So the software I use is this here, which is called OBS. It's a free software, and it's very cool. So basically, you set up sources and scenes. So right now, this scene here, I have my screen on this block and my webcam on that block, and my headset is the audio. And if I would like to change scene, let's say without face, because I need to see something on the bottom right, and I can simply switch scenes and it transitions to that. If I want to see only my face, then I can switch to this. If I want to show my second screen, so it's pretty cool, and you can do a lot of stuff. If I add another source here, you can have like audio and browser and all kinds of sources, slideshows and videos and all kinds of stuff. Now, one thing that's also interesting is browser. I could create a browser and I'm gonna give this source a name of let's say chat, because on another screen I have my YouTube view of the chat, but it's a big window including everything. So I can do this and enter the URL of any web page. In this case, I'm gonna use the URL of the live feed. I don't know why I don't see it, but anyway, let's do okay. There we hold on. There's a URL actually just for the chat. Okay. Let's do this. Let's copy this URL. Okay, I'm gonna update my chat source to this. Okay, there we go. So now I could take that window and change the settings of the chat for, let's say, 300 by 600. And I could move that block here. So now we could see my face, the live chat, and the rest is my screen. Let's say I don't want to hide parts of my screen, I can squeeze it in here. So it's pretty cool. I could squeeze my face down. I could change the dimensions of the chat here. Let's make it, I don't know, 700. Yeah, probably need to adjust a little, but that's basically the idea. And now I could have a little more space for my screen. It's pretty cool. I can decide to hide the chat and put this back the way it was. And amongst other sources, if you have more than one webcam, you can set them up. If you have a camcorder that has live stream capabilities, well, it's gonna be in video capture devices if it's plugged. Now in my case, I don't have other sources, but if you have any other source that supports that, and there's IP cameras that are networked that you can also use for that. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can even have oh, I don't remember now, but I think you can have PTZ cameras that you can actually control and turn in these things, which is kind of cool. You can have a clock if you so feel like. Yeah, there's plugins also you can add to other sources you can have. Now for audio, it's cool too because you have a full audio mixer here. So right now I have my desktop audio that's enabled and my headset, but my webcam microphone is off because the sound from my headset is better than the webcam, so I don't want the sound from the webcam. And if you go to, I think it's the settings here, filters. So right now I'm using a noise suppression filter and a compressor filter. So if I turn those off, well, I don't hear myself, but I'm sure if I stop talking, there's much more noise and the volume is probably lower than when I enable those filters. And you can have it playback, so you can adjust stuff and, just it stays here, and it uses very little CPU, and it's nice, really nice. And you can use that for live streaming, or you can output the result here to any output on your computer. So if you're projecting on a live event or something, you can do that as well. It's very, very nice. Okay, back to lines of code. So I'm a hopeful guy, and I'm gonna go back to develop, and I'm gonna try fetch again. So far it didn't work, but yeah, still not working. So anyway, git status, git reset hard, git status, no, git clean dfx. That's a thing. I need to close Visual Studio. That was working perfectly before. I don't know what happened. Okay, we are clean and up to date now. Git fetch, git fetch, git fetch upstream, actually. Git pull upstream develop, and git push. That should bring us in sync with the current status. Okay, so the issue number for the SQL scripts is 28. So new branch, issue 28. And let's fix those pesky little scripts. So one of the issues was single quote something in here. So I'm gonna grab this out and do as this and take this out of here as votes, save. So I think that was the problem with 310. Now the other report was on 330 in providers, data providers, SQL 330. So let's search single quotes. There we go. So this is an invalid syntax now. We need to use as this. That looks good. And the other one was 450. There we go. Save. Okay, let's do another release build. And that's gonna come in. Oh, it's not built yet. In the install folder here, let's feed this up to the extension verification service, upload. If we did a good job, we should have 0 errors now, and let's go do the same thing on the website and see if the install now works. No, so we still have a problem. Invalid column name created by user. That's in the 9 script. Okay, so the extension verification service now gives us 0 errors and some warnings. Okay, that's not a huge deal. Okay, we have, yeah, that's kind of important. So we need to finish all our scripts with a go statement. Okay. So let's try to reduce those warnings and fix whatever is the issue here. So the 9 script has an issue. Let's take, well, first let's make sure that we all finish with the go statement. So this one has nothing in it. That may be why it showed up as a warning. This one doesn't have a go. This one has nothing. Okay, now this one. Here we have let's copy this. Now this we cannot test it on a clean database, so we'll have to test it out on the actual database here. So new query. Let's paste that. Now we need to replace this with dbo dot not an entire solution, no, just on this file. 145 occurrences. Now, did I use an object qualifier? I did. So let's grab this and we'll replace it with OQ underscore. And let's parse. So that part appears to work. So what I'm gonna do, because I don't want to mess this, I'm gonna take a backup of it. That's fine. Okay. And I'm gonna have to run it in order to see what's wrong. Okay. So the problems start here. So insert into survey stamp, survey ID, chart type created by user ID. Select survey module ID question view order. So I'm guessing it needs to be inserted into survey stamp. So survey stamp created by user ID. So I'm guessing I need this. and I have another red squiggly line here. Now, it would be nice if I could get line numbers, but I don't. I have it here. Well, that's why they invented pens and paper. So that was on line 75. And the other one, we have here create procedure. There is already an object name, OQ surveys, CSV export in the database. So I'm not sure it's because that previously ran, but at any rate, we should never create a procedure. Oh, yeah, we should always check if it already exists. Yeah, we should always check that it already exists. Now, I'm not gonna go and do them all, but that's a problem. Yeah, there's a couple things here. Okay, anyway, one of them we can fix, which is line 75. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove the module and start from the clean previous version. Well, let's go to survey. And survey 470-1, because I never succeeded, so yeah, delete the files, no problem. And the uninstall script also has issues, but we'll get to that later. Back to the database, let's close that and refresh our tables. Survey. So that looks fine. What about the stored procedures? Let's delete them. Okay. This is the new one. I need the old one, which will be in my downloads folder. And yeah, that was extracted. Here. Did I put it on GitHub? Yeah. Don't really need to have data at this stage on it. Just want to go to host, extensions, install extension, and now I'm gonna grab the new one. But okay, I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. That's probably enough for today. We already fixed some stuff, and I'm gonna go and create an issue and tag Michael on it. I'm gonna submit what I fixed here. Yeah, I'm gonna submit this and ask for help on the rest. So fixed deprecated SQL syntax. That closes 28. Let's go to issues, new, bug report, SQL script errors on upgrades from latest version. The 090000 SQL script causes errors when upgrading from latest version and prevents upgrading the module. Install survey 470.1. I fixed some SQL syntax on older scripts due to EVS warnings, but there are still some issues. Michael, can you try the steps above and take a look? I also added build scripts so you can clone to either the desktop modules folder of a site or in any location. Building in release mode will produce the installer in the install subfolder. Just in case, here is a build right now. That has that issue. Side note, I referenced Dnn 8 DLL versions, which changed only one procedure in the upgrade code, so that will make the module Dnn 8 and 9 compatible. There we go. So this, can I assign? No, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so just to finish tonight, let's go just clean up some issues. I am closing this one because we now have individual issues for each of these items. That's one. Now, so I'm closing manually the issues that were included in this pull request. The thing is, can I click here? No. It's gonna be like here. So number 5 got automatically closed. Yeah, pull request 16. Okay. So let's go back to the issue in here. So I'm closing manually. When you write closes number something, it automatically closes the issue, but only the issue right after the word closes. So closes something, something else, yet another thing, only catches the first one. Next time, please put them one per line with the word closes on each. Thanks. That's good. Merged. I should put the milestone here. Let's put them as enhancements. This is also part of that, so enhancement and this milestone. This is also part of it. Oh, I just forgot to put here. Merged. Merged. enhancement. Multiple story pages, that's an enhancement. Drop down list answers. I don't know what those numbers are. Oh. So sorting, it's an enhancement. The setting. Okay, this one. This one is not referenced anywhere. Let's make this an enhancement, but no milestone. This is an enhancement, and here. Yeah, that's pretty ugly. That's fixed, because now it's templatable, so. That one got merged, though. Why didn't... Well, I thought this would have closed it. Enhancement. That would be a bug. That's fixed. Okay, add captcha. I don't know if that was... Yeah, that's part of it. Okay, cool. So... Enhancement. And that's it. And here I'm just gonna double check. that's it for tonight. So we'll see if Michael has some time to come back with a fix for the SQL scripts. We're good to go on testing, and if everything is fine, we're good for release. And if this may be part of it, well, until we can test, I can't really be sure. But it would be worth to, if this appears to be a small fix, if it's a or enhancement, if it's still valid, we could be zero issues and publish the new release then. But yeah, so I'd say that release is 94% complete. Very cool. So enough for tonight. Whoever's watching, have a good night, and we'll see us again on the next live stream. See ya.